Modern neuroscience tells us that instead of writing down things we're thankful for in a journal, simply listening to and connecting with positive stories about people can better help shift our immune system into balance. It can help us move from a state of constant anxiety towards motivation. So 3 days a week, I'm sharing stories we can feel good about. Mondays, you'll hear a story from the past to be thankful for. On Wednesdays, I'll tell an inspiring story from the present. And Fridays, you'll head into the weekend with a story to keep you optimistic about our future. Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to My Good 3. Alright, happy Friday. For this episode, I'm going to get into the topic of how well we're doing, as people and as countries, at working together on this planet. Really, this is a story about what is happening in reality versus what we feel when our fears interpret random samples of negative information. It's easy to feel like our future as a planet isn't being managed well. We hear nothing but negative news about climate, conflict, cyber attacks, hunger, and exploitation. So is the world devolving into a collection of paranoid isolationist societies? Is the sharing of ideas and resources being completely replaced by competitiveness, or even more dangerous, indifference? And why does it even matter? Well, for one, there's a positive correlation between the number of countries collaborating on projects and global peace. At its core, it reduces mistrust and increases understanding. It can help develop a sense of shared stability by way of international treaties, United Nations peacekeeping missions, and multilateral aid programs. Global cooperation is also critical for fostering innovation. Diversity of thought is essential for creating a richer pool of ideas for the world's biggest challenges. By collaborating, nations can share resources, only accelerating technological advancements in key areas like quantum computing and renewable energy solutions. And there are several concrete examples of this collaboration in action. One, and probably the greatest example of an international collaboration in science, was in the Human Genome Project, a 13-year-long project to determine the DNA sequence of the entire human genome. And with the help of 6 countries, it succeeded in mapping nearly the entire DNA sequence. This discovery has benefited many international fields, from molecular medicine to the study of human evolution. Another example is in the International Space Station, or ISS, where we see peaceful collaboration, often between typically contentious nations, for the advancement of space exploration. We know it can be done, but are these 2 examples anomalies? And are they mostly behind us? Well, there's plenty of data out there, so someone decided to find out. For the past several years, 2 major organizations, McKinsey & Company, the world's oldest and largest strategy and management consulting firm, and the World Economic Forum, a neutral international non-governmental think tank, have been working together to measure and evaluate how well the nations of the world are cooperating. They sifted through about 15 years of data and focused on 42 metrics, which were organized into 5 key pillars: trade and capital, innovation and technology, climate and natural capital, health and wellness, and peace and security. And in early 2024, they released the inaugural Global Cooperation Barometer report. So, are we doomed? According to the report, absolutely not. Since 2012, global cooperation has risen steadily. And in a few pillars, it's risen substantially, with the only drop being in the last 2 years in the peace and security pillar, due to the recent regional conflicts in Ukraine and in the Middle East. The greatest increase in global cooperation was around information and technology, at a whopping 30% increase since 2012, with climate and nature, health and wellness, and trade and capital not far behind, which is impressive considering the pandemic disrupted our planet in 2020 and into 2021. I, for one, never would have guessed that international cooperation was doing so well, given what we hear in the news and in social media, where conflict and fear-based information takes center stage. So, as we look at the world in front of us, and as we head into our weekends, let's take a deep breath and remind ourselves that this isn't all falling apart. Like most things, there are plenty of imperfections, but the future of global unity, much like our own lives, has a lot more going for it than we realize. Thank you for listening. I realize this podcast won't be successful without your help. So if you'd like to rate it, or better yet, review it, wherever you get your podcasts, that would really help. And if you're on Instagram, go to @mygood3, THREE, to vote each episode up or down. I'm also excited to read more Good 3 stories from listeners. So just go to our website, mygood3.com, and submit a story of your own from the past, present, or future, or all three, and maybe I'll use it in an episode. Thanks again. Here's to hoping My Good 3 can set the stage for your good week.